I'm William Nozak, and in this module, I'm talking about design principles and copy. Here's a question. What are the main principles of web design? Every page of a website must have a clear purpose. Not every page is built to rank in the search engines, but there certainly needs to be some sort of understanding of what is the purpose of this page. Second is layout, which is how the website looks to those who are using it. We always want to have it match up against our logo, the design of our logo, using our logo variants. And then our brand guidelines, the fonts that we say are appropriate to use with our brand, which we call typography, the colors, making sure we're using our primaries and our secondaries, and that we're not using too many colors, and that our CTAs all make sense and match, and that the design and flow all make sense to get people down the funnels and to the content that they need so that we can get them from click to lead. Clear functional navigation to each page. That's the top nav, that's side navs, that's the footer nav, that's internal navigation, links down the page. Last is content, including load times, mobile friendliness, and web copy. Here are some design principles. Understand the purpose of the website. What is the goal? Not all the goals of a website are to get leads from the internet. It can sometimes be as easy as, hey, we need a place where people can go and download assets. That can be a goal of a website. 2, we have to understand the navigation and what people need and how we want to make it quick for them to get to the things they need the most. And then 3, of course, content. So how to optimize web copy. We're going to use, I always look it down from the meta title, the meta description, which isn't a ranking factor, but then the slug, and then the H1, H2s, H3s, content. We want it to all make sense on every single page, from the home page, adding some creativity while also trying to pay attention to how people use the language that are looking for your services or product that don't know your brand name. Use bullets. And so we want to use appropriate HTML, bulleting, ordered lists, unordered lists, italics, bolds. All of this is read by the algorithm. So when we add emphasis, it also helps people to clue into what's important on that page. So write short, concise paragraphs. People don't read web pages like they read books. They scan them. So we want to have our H1 on what that page is about, right? From homepage to interiors to blog posts, categories and tags, other resources on the site that aren't necessarily SEO hungry but have some sort of function for end users, all the way from the sitemap, the HTML sitemap to the XML sitemap, privacy policies, things like that. When people are reading these things, we want to have H1. H2s. H2 tells you what is the section, stay in scope, what is the section that I'm reading? And so I can read that content, I'll read that content, but I want it in 1 to 3 word sentences, occasionally for 1 to 3 sentence paragraphs, I want it in 1 to 3 sentence paragraphs, occasionally a 4 sentence paragraph. But we scan. So in my H2, I've got a couple 1 sentences, white space between it, 2 to 3 sentence small area, white space between it, another sentence or 2, and then another H2 separating that new paragraph from the other paragraph, splitting it up between H2s and making it easy on the eyes. The eyes get tired when we're reading on a computer. It's not the same as a book. Short, concise paragraphs. Highlight or bold key terms. This is really helpful. Maybe the bots read it today or don't read it today, but maybe they do in the future. It helps these algorithms understand emphasis on the page. Certainly want it to make sense for the end user as well. First and foremost, what is the user's intent? How can we match that content against their intent? Also paying attention to what keywords and queries people are already using, matching it against those large volumes and difficulties that our website can handle. All very important in a strategy. And then know your audience. This is personas. Go back and watch the video over personas. Understanding who's consuming that content, and of those people consuming it, how can we get those people down our funnels for the different services or products we offer. So understand the purpose of your website. The first step is building an effective website. Determine why you need a website. If you're in business, there's certainly a reason to have a digital presentation. We look at it as a digital brochure. It's an evergreen product. It's always changing. The first version is not the same as the second version. Version 2 could be a month later. Version 3 could be years later. Version 4 could be a couple months later. As the internet changes and users change the way they interface with websites and companies in your space, your website also changes. And then as we learn things about our buyer personas and what their pain points are and what their needs are and how people are consuming content on our site, it's going to change how we present those things and how we talk about those things. And as we get more feedback from Google Search Console and Google Analytics, and we see that our site does really well for this other set of queries, but we didn't set it up that way, we use that to change the look and the style and the content. So certainly start with a purpose, and of course the purpose can certainly be a moving target, but at least have an idea of why we're setting it up the way we're doing it. Also be sure to put thought into the core elements, the web layout, look at how the competition in your space is doing it. Do not recreate the mousetrap. If people are used to using a website a certain way in your space, probably go with that design. Colors, fonts, images. We need to have a brand guide that fits within the way our brand is being presented online. And certainly we want to stick within the brand guidelines because we don't want some other asset that people really aren't too certain if it's us or it looks like it's a secondary brand. We want brand awareness, brand consistency throughout our website and through everything we do. So navigation. Navigation is a very important design principle. Means simply that your website is easy to get around. Certainly we always start with the home page and then the interiors like services or products. And then if knowing something about our company is important to end users, we certainly would have an about us of some sort. And then a contact page and all kinds of other resources that we know end users need somewhere as they bounce down the funnel from top of the funnel down to bottom of the funnel, right? They come in through a certain query or a display ad or some ad that we've targeted those personas. We get them to the home page or that home page that's really the service that they were looking for, and whatever that service is, that service page actually acts like the home page. If they're coming in, for instance, for web design, I don't want them hitting my home page, I'm hitting my web design page. That's the home page for that user. And then having that content and the ancillary pieces that they need to know. Reviews from clients, recent work, all of these things are pieces that a potential client might need in this case. Case studies, things like that, white papers on why good design matters. So every page of the website from the blog to the service page should be navigable. Depending upon what it is, depends where we want to have it. Of course, we don't want to have everything in the top nav. That would make it where people just go everywhere. We certainly want to make sure that we're getting them down the funnel, giving them pieces they need to make educated decisions to become a client of ours. Certainly you can add a lot more things in the footer or the junk drawer of a website. You can add things to side navs. You can have things in site HTML sitemaps. You can have them when they hit like a news URL and there's like certain blog roles, and you want to make sure that your content's easy to find in those blog roles, then you might set those up and have people also read or related blogs, such as categorizing them or tagging them. All of this navigation on a website matters to make it where people can get to content quickly and it's not hard for them to find it. Of course, getting them back to the site, those are different techniques. And you would want to go watch email automations to get your newest blogs in front of people so they don't have to stumble upon those blogs. Content is king, packaging is queen. So we want to have good design. We want to have internal links down those pages. We want to have vertical links and horizontal links to other resources that people might also need to know about when we've got a page. What is the reason of this page? Is it a squeeze page? Is it half squeeze where we need to have some educate the client at the top of the funnel, but then also somewhere pitch our own products at the bottom of the funnel? Depending upon the pages, service pages or blog pages or certain categories of pages, from our research, macro and micro research, that's when we know how to try to identify the user intent behind a specific page. We don't want to have it the same intent on every single page that we're writing about a certain topic. So that's why we want to have documentation, macro research, understand what's written, what we inherited, what we've written, what we'll write in the future, and how it all works together. So that's design principles and copy. If you need to go back and watch that, go ahead. If not, I'll see you in the next module.